It's Monday morning. Well, depending on when you're listening to this episode, it's early morning and you're staring at your phone thinking, what do I even post this week? You're overwhelmed, you're out of ideas, and every time you scroll through Instagram or Facebook, you see someone else in your industry just crushing it and you wonder, what am I doing wrong? Does this sound familiar? Well, you're not alone. And the good news is, with a clear strategy, you're never going to feel this way again. And by the end of today's episode, you are going to have a clear roadmap to follow so that you can create consistent, intentional, and the most importantly, effective social media that not only aligns with your business, but your goals. You ready? Let's dive in. Welcome to this week's Rocky Mountain Marketing QuickCast. This is your go-to source for actionable advice and the latest news in social media and digital marketing. Every Thursday in just 8 to 12 minutes, I'm going to be delivering quick, impactful tips to help you stay ahead in the fast-paced digital landscape. I'm your host, Katie Brinkley. Let's dive into today's episode. Welcome back to this week's Rocky Mountain Marketing QuickCast. And I want to talk a little bit about having a social media strategy, because social media strategy is my favorite thing. I think that without a strategy, it really is just the spaghetti at the wall method. And one of my friends, they send me content regularly. Oh, look at this person and look at this person and look at this person. I'm like, yeah, cool. You're doing better than they are. And then they say like, well, wait, no, what do you mean I'm doing better than they are? And I say, well, you're getting leads from your social media. They have X amount of followers and they're only getting X amount of likes. You have fewer followers, you get more engagement, but whatever. And I think that a lot of time the comparison in social media, it just destroys us. Seeing what other people are doing, we're only seeing the highlight reels, first of all, okay? So keep that in mind. We're only seeing the highlight reels. Social media, what works for one person might not necessarily work for you. It all comes down to having a strategy and sticking to that strategy. And if you feel like you've been on this social media hamster wheel where you're just posting a ton, you're using Opus Clip, you're repurposing, you're sharing content twice a day, and you're seeing little engagement. You have a podcast, the downloads haven't gone up. You're wondering, is this even worth it? Again, today's episode is for you. And today I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process that I use with all of my clients. And this isn't just some cookie cutter template that you can grab off the internet. Okay. This is my proven strategy for turning social media from a time suck into a growth engine for your business. So you ready? All right, let's get started. So first things first, what do you want social media to do for your business? Notice I didn't say, what do you want to post? This isn't about the pretty grids or jumping on trends. It's about defining your goals. And this is really important because I want you to start thinking of social media as a tool, not the destination. Your goals will determine how you use it. And here are just a few examples of different goals. Are you trying to increase brand awareness? Well, if that's your goal, then your strategy might focus on reach and visibility. Do you want to drive traffic to your website? That's completely different because you're asking people to leave social media. Remember, they went to social media for a reason, to be entertained and to waste time. You're asking them to leave. You want to drive website traffic. Your post should include compelling links and CTAs. Or is your goal maybe looking to generate leads and sales? Well, then you need action-oriented content that really nurtures and converts. So here's a real life example. One of my clients, a realtor, and she was just getting started on Instagram and Facebook. We decided that those were her two platforms that she was going to invest and spend her time on. And she wanted to grow her Instagram following. And after digging into her goals, we realized that what she really wanted was to connect with local homeowners who might be ready to sell. So her strategy shifted from being, hey, just listed and just sold and showing all of the properties that she's selling to really being hyper localized. She was putting herself out there in the community. She was going to the local board meetings. She was taking herself and putting herself out there as almost being the local news reporter for the area that she wanted to be known for. And her strategy of being that hyper local content creator and using Instagram stories to showcase her expertise dramatically shifted her into not only being just the go-to realtor for selling in that area, but for people who wanted to buy in that area. And within just a few months, she started seeing actual leads coming from her post. So the most important thing that you need to do before you even start posting on social media is to get crystal clear on what your goal is, because they are the foundation of everything else that you do with your time on these social media platforms. Okay, now number 2 is knowing your audience. So let's talk about your audience. Who are you creating content for? And if your answer is everyone, that's not the answer. Social media is way too noisy for that approach. So you need to niche down and speak directly to the people who need what you offer. So here is what I recommend. Define your ideal client avatar. Think about their demographics, their age, their gender, the location, their psychographics. So what are their pain points, their goals, their values? And then number 2, use data. Platforms like Instagram and Facebook, holy cow, they are giving you so much data. You just need to have your account set up as a creator account. So they have these built-in analytics, and these tools will give you a gold mine of information about who is engaging and following you from your content. You need to pay attention to this. How often? That's up to you. It depends on how fast you're growing. I check mine every month. I say at least once a quarter to check it. I recommend the monthly strategy, but check in on who is engaging with your content, because if you know who you're talking to, it makes it a whole lot easier for you to create content for them. And then number 3, listen to your audience. Instagram stories is a great spot for you to poll your audience. LinkedIn, they have the poll feature. Facebook has the poll feature. I can't stress enough how great this poll feature is, because you can ask people what their pain points are. I learned this back in the days of Clubhouse. So when Clubhouse was real popular back during the pandemic, I would with this podcast, I didn't know sometimes what type of content I should be creating, what pain points my audience was having. And so I would go to a Clubhouse room and I would ask them, and people would come and say, oh, I need to know how to do this. I'm wondering how I do this. That is a wealth of information. Ask your audience what their problems are. Poll your followers, read comments, ask questions. Social media, I can't stress this enough, it is a two-way street, and your audience will tell you what they want if you're willing to listen. I once ran a poll on my Instagram stories, just asking my audience what they were struggling with the most with their social media. And the overwhelming response was, I don't know what to post. Guess what? That turned into a whole week's worth of content, emails, podcasts, you name it. And it even led to an entire masterclass about creating content about when you don't know what to post, which then led into sales. So ask your audience. If you know your audience like the back of your hand, the better you understand them and the better you can serve them. And now for a quick break. We've all heard that AI can change the way that you do business. If you have a podcast, if you have a YouTube channel, are you repurposing your long-form content to its full capabilities? And that's where Capsho comes in. Check out Capsho and how they can help you create more content by visiting katiebrinkley.live/Capsho today and start using Capsho and AI to work smarter, not harder.
Just a note, if you use the links I provide, I may receive compensation.
You know as well as I do that life can get pretty hectic sometimes. It happens to all of us. That's why I'm offering you a simple weekly reminder so you don't miss out on any of Rocky Mountain Marketing's episodes. If you're up for exclusive tips, juicy details, and some inspiring quotes to brighten your day, just sign up for the free email newsletter. All you have to do is head over to katiebrinkley.com/podcast newsletter or find the link in the show notes. All right, let's get back to the show.
Number 3, you need to choose the right platforms. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see so many entrepreneurs making, trying to be everywhere at once. I get it, folks. It is very easy to just tap that little button and share everywhere. But you know what? You don't need to be on every single platform. And I love tools like Metricool, Loomly. You hear me talk about Metricool all the time. If you want to check them out, go to katiebrinkley.live/cool. It is an affiliate link. I use them. I love them. But you know what? Just because you can tap a button and share it to all these platforms does not mean that you should. Just because you can be everywhere doesn't mean that you should. You need to be where your audience is and where you can show up consistently. So think about this. If your ideal clients are 45-year-old professional, TikTok might not be the best use of your time. Instead, focus in on platforms like LinkedIn or Facebook, where that audience is more active. So let me just share how I do this for my own business. So for example, LinkedIn is one of my favorite platforms. I love creating content for LinkedIn. Engaging over there is where I get a lot of our agency clients. We do at Next Step Social, we do podcast production and social media, turnkey social media solutions. A lot of people over on LinkedIn are looking to outsource that for their company. Now, over on Facebook, I know that I have a lot of entrepreneurs who might have an assistant or someone on their team that would love to come to one of my master classes or learn directly from me. And then over on Instagram, that is a great spot for me to promote my podcast, promoting the book. I know exactly what my pain points are on each platform, and I can talk to my audience in that specific way on each platform. And you might say, well, Katie, this sounds like an awful lot of work. Well, yeah, that's because I'm posting on 3 platforms. You don't need to be on all 3. You can be on one and be really good at one. And then as time allows and you start getting better, then you can add in another one. You have to remember that these social media platforms all have a different culture. They all have a different way of creating content, and they all have a different way of showing up. So creating content for the people that are on that platform, for that audience, is going to help you convert more and build a stronger community. So choose 1 to 3 platforms where your audience is most active and commit to show. All right, number 4, building the content plan. I do have my 31-day content calendar. I'll include it in the show notes here, a link in the show notes. Be sure to check out the 31-day content calendar. But the content part should be the fun part, right? This is what social media was designed for, right? Having fun, creating connections and community. And I know this is where we move from the part of what do I post to here's the strategy. And obviously my go-to method is the 4-post strategy, the awareness to action strategy, and it's outlined in the Social Shift. Be sure to check it out. If you are a podcast user, it is built into Capsho, which is awesome. Capsho has built the 4-post strategy into their software. The 4-post strategy is designed to help simplify and eliminate the whole what do I post struggle. So the very first post is the awareness post. These are designed to grab attention and make people stop scrolling. Think bold statements, reels with trending audio, eye-catching graphics. So for example, on Instagram, it might be a reel with the text overlay. Struggling to grow on social media? Here's the one truth no one's telling you. That's going to stop the scroll. And then post number 2 is the elaboration post. Now that you've brought people in, you've stopped the scroll, you've made them problem aware, the elaboration post. These dive deeper to showcase your expertise, why people can trust you. So think educational carousels, think LinkedIn articles or newsletters. So this is where you can really step into the spotlight and provide true value to your followers. The third post is the community post. This is the most fun. This is the post that should foster engagement. It should tell your side of the story, share a little bit about you, share a client testimonial, how you helped somebody overcome the struggle that you're talking about. And then the 4th post, if you notice, we haven't asked anyone to leave social media. The 4th post is the action post, finally asking people to take action. This is where you do the pitch, whether it's promoting a service, sharing a lead magnet, driving traffic to your website. This is where you ask people to leave social media to go one step further with you. So if you plan, the big takeaway here, if you plan your content with intention, you have to make sure it aligns with your audience's needs and your business goals, and the 4-post strategy will help take you there. I know I went through this quickly. Again, you can check it out in my book, The Social Shift. I do have an entire workbook on it. The 4-post strategy will set you up for success if you are struggling on what to post on social media. All right, and then number 5 here, let's talk about the most important step that most people forget and they skip, and it's actually measuring your results and adjusting your strategy. Social media is not just a set it and forget it game. You actually need to track your metrics to see what's working, and some really important metrics to look at are reach. Are you getting in front of new people? Engagement. Are people engaging with your posts? If they're not engaging, well, guess what? You're not posting the type of content that resonates with them. And then 3, conversions. And I want to stress on this one, conversions. It's going to be different depending on the platform that you're on. Conversions can look very different depending on what again, going back to step number 1, your goal is. Is your goal brand awareness? Is conversion getting more downloads? Is conversions, what is conversions to? Is it more leads? For some people, it might be getting more DMs. It might be getting more podcast downloads. It might be getting people to sign up for a masterclass or booking a call. You have to know what conversion you want people to take so that you can track it correctly. I can't stress this enough. Use your analytics to refine your strategy. The more you experiment, the more that you will learn. And the more that you learn, the better your social media will be. And the more your audience is going to resonate with the content that you create. And the more they're going to talk about you and share you with their friends. So let's recap here, okay? So number 1, set clear goal. Number 2, understand your audience. Who is it that you're talking to? Number 3, choose the right platforms. You don't need to be everywhere. Number 4, build a content plan using the 4-post strategy, that awareness to action strategy. And then number 5, don't forget to measure your results and adjust as needed. Always be learning. Remember, social media isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent and intentional. When you approach it with a strategy, it stops feeling overwhelming, and it really can start driving real results for your business. It can start driving real results for your business. So now it's your turn. What's one thing that you are going to implement from today's episode? DM me over on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. I'd love to hear about it. And if you need help creating a customized strategy, go to katiebrinkley.com/content calendar. Get that 31-day content calendar. If you'd like to talk about getting a social audit on the calendar in 2025, go to katiebrinkley.live/RMM and we can have a social strategy call. Don't forget to subscribe and so that you never miss an episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. I hope you're leaving with valuable insights and the inspiration to lead your market. If you've enjoyed our time together and found today's podcast episode useful, I have a small favor to ask of you. Please hit that subscribe button to stay updated with the latest episodes. And if you know someone who could benefit from these episodes, maybe a fellow business leader or an aspiring entrepreneur, go ahead and share this episode with them. Let's spread the knowledge and grow together. Also, I'd love to hear from you and continue the conversation beyond the podcast. Visit me at katiebrinkley.com to connect, to find more resources, or just to share your journey. And be sure to pick up your copy of my new book, The Social Shift, at katiebrinkley.com/book. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Katie Brinkley, and I can't wait to dive into more strategies and stories with you on the next episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Let's keep on taking your marketing to new heights.